Hey, 2E parents and adults, clinicians and teachers. Welcome to the G&D, your Gifted and Distractible vlog. I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to talk about listening. Yeah, listening. It's a big thing because for 2E people, we tend to be problem solvers, pleasers, people who want to get things done. And if we're a parent, we may not be listening so well because we have an agenda. We have to get somewhere. We have to do something. We have to accomplish something. And so sometimes we forget to listen. And oftentimes our kids are actually giving us an answer. If we're a 2E adult, sometimes we're caught up in perfectionism, trying to show that we know what we're doing, trying to be the person who can help because we're so used to being that person that people come to. Or maybe we're used to being misunderstood, and so we want to prove that we are that person who can do and accomplish and help. And if we're a teacher of 2E kids, we sure have a lot of competing things going on. A lot of people in our room that we have to take care of, and a lot of kids with a lot of needs. So sometimes we forget to listen. And so the overarching approach that I recommend is actually taking a second and listening to what, or observing what is happening in front of you. Really, it's kind of like reading the room, right? Read the person. So if you're the parent of a 2E kid and you're trying to teach a skill and it's just not working because either the child's tired, hungry, needs to move, had a horrible day, is exhausted, can't listen anymore, is overwhelmed. We got to listen because you know what? Then we're wasting words. We're getting into a power struggle. We are just digging ourselves into a deeper hole. If our child is wanting to implement immediately what we're recommending, but we're meaning it for a later time, well, that's okay. Let them practice right now. Sometimes when we parent rigid kids, we don't realize that we can be rigid in our parenting. So we have to really listen to what they're telling us and watch the clues they're giving us. Same thing for teachers. We've got to take a second because so often I'm asked, how do I get this kid to do the thing that's really hard or get them to transition from something that they want to do to something they don't want to do? Sometimes we really just have to listen and pay attention to what's going on for that child because the most important thing is to increase and strengthen trust so that the child can be available to do things that are hard. Because if you're teaching a 2E kid, you've got a process you got to go through before you're really going to be able to be successful in those hard areas. And if you're a 2E adult and you're trying so hard to prove yourself worthy, prove yourself capable, set aside the perfectionism, set aside that deep yearning to demonstrate your capability and listen to yourself. Is now really the best time? Do you actually really know what you're doing? Or do you need to ask for some support or help? And listen to who's talking to you, whether it's your colleague, your boss, your spouse, your partner, your friend. Listen, because our brains tend to go super fast and sometimes we don't hear the whole thing. And there are times when we need some processing time. And so the people we're interacting with may also need that grace to get to process some of the awesome thoughts that we're sharing. So in this vlog, what you're learning is how to listen and not to forget to listen and to set aside what feels so urgent at the moment, because actually taking a second to listen might help calm down that intensity and allow you to actually respond in a more thorough way. Thanks for listening.